I was working in a rehab program for schizophrenics in Daly City, California, living 3 nights a week at the rehab program, and 3 other nights a week I'd sleep at different girlfriend places. And 1 night a week I stayed with my friend Robin and slept out in the little shed next to his hot tub. Take a hot tub night and a wonderful sleep outside. And I was saving up enough money. You don't make a lot of money in a rehab program. So I was saving up enough money so I could rent my own place and put my deposit money down, because they always wanted first, last, and a security deposit. And it's kind of difficult to do. Anyhow, so I applied to do that, and I saved up enough money, $4,000, so that I could do it, and I started looking for places. And I found a place on Head Street in San Francisco, up by San Francisco State, not far from the Daly City rehab program that I was working in. I was going to San Francisco State, and it all seemed pretty nice. Mostly solid black neighborhood, good, clean neighborhood. Kind of real middle classy, very nice. And it was a rental, and I'm standing in front of the house, a yellow house, looked pretty good. Guy didn't show up. Looking next door, there was a house next door that kind of looked really weird. It was red and blue and pink, and it looked familiar though. It was one of those Neapolitan colored homes, and every rock was a different color. A rock garden, big century plant in the front, dark blue picket fence. Anyhow, it was very, very interesting, and it looked familiar. And I realized that it looked just like a dream house that I had been having for the last 1.5 years that I'm really looking for. Picket fence, cute, but I always saw it as all brown tones. I never saw it in color like this. Anyhow, I was just looking at it. This old lady comes out on the porch, and multicolored babushka and ruby red lips and a big black mole there, dot something, dark eyebrows, dark eyes. And she looks at me, and she's Italian. She says, "Come here, young man, come here." Crippled arthritic fingers, you know. 89 years old at the time. And hunched over. Her outfit was as multicolored as her home. And I was wearing all white, with a white hat, white shoes, white pants, white shirt, because I worked in a rehab program. So, walked in her house. She beckoned me because she looked like the old lady in the Hansel and Gretel story, you know. And I thought being eaten by an old woman would be a nice way to go. So anyhow, I went in, and it was fun. Every room was a different color. Dark shades, blues, maroons. The bathroom was 4 shades of shocking pink. As we went by the kitchen, she tapped on the stove. "Good stove, bakes good too," she said. We walked to the back, and out the back there was box ferns all over, and all the rocks were different colors. And right next to the shed in the back, there was 2 peach trees that had just died and been cut down. So all they were stumps. And the whole area said, this is great for a hot tub. This is just like, very similar to where I was staying one night a week. It's fabulous. Walked in the house, sat down, and she said to me, you work with people that aren't all there. I said, yes, ma'am, I do. She said, let me tell you something. And she proceeded to tell me not just what I did for a living, but what I was going to do for a living. And then she said that my life would work better if I bought her house. I said, how do you know what I do? How do you know that I'm going to be teaching and I'm going to be doing this and I'm going to be doing that? How do you know that I should buy your house? And she said, putting her crippled finger up to her, she said, shush, I'm Catholic, and we're not supposed to believe this, but a little voice told me that you would be the one. And I looked at her and I said, well, ma'am, I'm not one to argue with voices like that. If it can be, it will be. And 3 months later, I owned her house. I lived in the basement, and she lived upstairs. And I had $4,000 in the bank, and I owned her house. It's an unbelievable story, and it's a true story.